At 6:30 p.m., a T-72B tank belonging to Ukrainian forces operating in the eastern Donetsk sector received crucial information from an aerial reconnaissance unit. An FPV reconnaissance drone flying low over the battle area detected a Russian armored vehicle hidden among dense trees, almost invisible to the human eye or standard optical sensors. The drone operator quickly identified the enemy's position using high-precision GPS coordinates and then transmitted the data directly to the T-72B crew of the Azov Mechanized Brigade. In less than a minute, the coordinates appeared on the tank's targeting system. The tank commander immediately ordered an adjustment to the main gun's aiming. With the aid of a thermal imaging system, they began to see the faint silhouette of the Russian vehicle in the night fog. Meanwhile, the drone in the air continued to provide real-time visual feedback, correcting the firing angle every few seconds to ensure accurate projectile hits. Not far from the Ukrainian T-72B tank position, about 500 meters to the northwest, 5 Javelin anti-tank missile firing squads were already positioned, hidden behind rubble and a natural ditch. They were part of the Azov Tactical Group's support unit, tasked that night with securing the tank's path from a potential Russian counterattack. Ukrainian forces once again demonstrated their tactical prowess in an ambush operation in the eastern Donetsk region. In a video released by the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Special Operations Forces (SSO) units successfully destroyed 3 Russian Tiger battle tanks and set fire to an additional vehicle attempting to flee the battle area. The attack took place in the dense forests of the Donetsk region, one of the most active and critical sectors of the front line. Footage shows Ukrainian soldiers moving swiftly through the trees, exploiting the vegetation as natural cover before launching a surprise attack on a passing enemy convoy. According to official reports, the operation was carried out with careful planning and intensive reconnaissance using FPV surveillance drones. Once the target's position was confirmed, SSO forces launched precision fire, destroying 3 Tiger tanks. Another Russian armored vehicle also caught fire after being hit by a barrage of medium-range anti-tank missiles. After the ambush, our team returned to base without any personnel losses. The SSO wrote in a brief statement, "We remind you that any enemy action in the Ukrainian forests will always end in disaster." Meanwhile, the situation in Donetsk remains tense. The region has been a flashpoint since the start of the Russian invasion. In recent weeks, reports have suggested that Moscow has begun reactivating Soviet-era tanks from storage, allegedly to offset significant losses on the front lines. The operation in Donetsk also demonstrates Ukraine's continued strengthening of coordination between ground forces, drone units, and fast-moving infantry, a key success factor in modern warfare. Meanwhile, Russia appears to be struggling to maintain its offensive momentum, particularly in areas with complex terrain such as forests and damaged urban areas. Operators of the Phoenix Border Unit of Ukraine's Unmanned Systems Forces have intensified their offensive operations against Russian armored vehicles in the Donetsk region. Their precision strikes have significantly weakened Russia's offensive capabilities on the front lines. In an official report, the Phoenix unit released new footage showing Ukrainian combat drones striking advancing Russian armored formations. The attacks were carried out with rapid coordination between air operators, artillery units, and field command. Throughout October 2025, the Phoenix unit destroyed 12 tanks, 46 armored vehicles, and killed over 600 Russian soldiers. Each operation was carried out under intense pressure, but the results demonstrated the extraordinary effectiveness of integrated drone strike tactics. Heavy Russian losses forced many units to retreat and lost the armor protection that had previously been the backbone of their ground offensive. Without heavy vehicle support, Russia's offensive capabilities have been drastically reduced in the eastern Donetsk sector. Drone warfare is now a core of Ukraine's defense strategy, Units like Phoenix combine reconnaissance and precision strikes, enabling the destruction of key targets long before they reach the line of contact. These tactics make the war in Ukraine one of the most visible examples of the evolution of modern warfare. The released footage shows how quickly Ukrainian FPV drones detect, mark, and destroy targets with remote coordination, creating a layered defense system capable of thwarting any Russian penetration attempts. Kyiv. The Ukrainian Army's Special Anti-Tank Operations Team received a strong response today after several successful deployments of the Javelin system. This unit is tasked with deploying trained gunners with portable Javelin systems in rapid formation to disable enemy armored vehicles. According to a Ukrainian military statement, the team has carried out several successful attacks in recent weeks. In one incident, they fired directly into the turret of a Russian tank, causing an internal ammunition explosion and total destruction of the vehicle. There were no Ukrainian casualties in the operation. Military officials noted that the deployment and training of Javelin teams has accelerated since last winter. Recent exercises have included remote launches, tracking moving targets, and operations in both open and urban terrain. Fire and forget systems like the Javelin allow gunners to change positions immediately after launch, increasing the team's mobility and safety. This success is considered a crucial element of Ukraine's strategy to strengthen its defenses and delay the Russian offensive in the eastern sector. By destroying key armored vehicles, Ukrainian anti-tank units suppress enemy maneuverability and increase opportunities for Ukrainian forces to seize the initiative. The Ukrainian government stated that it will continue to increase the number of Javelin teams, which are equipped with intensive training and logistical support. This move is expected to make the anti-tank system a game-changer in increasingly tough and complex battlefields. Despite not possessing its own Javelin missile system, units of the Azov Brigade of the Ukrainian National Guard have reportedly begun training with the FGM-148 Javelin, an advanced US-made anti-tank system supplied to the Ukrainian Army, UAF. According to Ukrainian military sources, cited by Defense Express and Ukrinform, this training is being conducted as part of a standard NATO combat tactics integration program, where troops from various units, including the National Guard, have the opportunity to learn how to operate the latest generation of missile systems. Previously, Azov did not have direct access to the FGM-148 Javelin, as the weapon was allocated to regular Army units. However, since mid-2024, cross-unit training exercises have begun in several sectors of the Donetsk and Zaporizhia front lines, allowing Azov personnel to master the same combat procedures as regular Ukrainian forces. On the battlefields of eastern Ukraine, strength doesn't always come from the number of tanks or heavy weapons. Sometimes, victory comes from ingenuity, coordination, and a willingness to adapt. The Azov troops, once known only as a formidable infantry unit, have become a vital part of Ukraine's modern defense. They may not have their own Javelin systems, but they are learning to use them. They train alongside regular troops, study NATO tactics, and understand how to confront an enemy with advanced technology. But on the front lines, it's not the name of the weapon that determines the outcome, but how they use it. When the Javelin isn't available, they rely on the NLAWA and Stugna-P, European and Ukrainian-made weapons that offer the same overhead attack capabilities as the Javelin. And with the help of drones, every shot they fire becomes far more accurate and lethal. Now, the collaboration between reconnaissance drones, anti-tank missiles, and small teams like the Azovs is shaping the new face of modern warfare. All this is done in a matter of seconds, under pressure, amidst the perpetual fog of war. So, while they may not have Javelins at their disposal, Azov has something far more important: adaptability, discipline, and the will to survive. And that's what keeps them standing on the front lines, weathering every attack and proving that true strength doesn't always come from weapons, but from the people who wield them with conviction and ingenuity.